welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be a preview of the Ross County match tomorrow, and also a wee quick run through of a few updates of transfers, loans, players coming and going from Celtic. We woke up this morning to some bad news that Greg Taylor, who has been ever present for us at left back, he's got a calf injury and is going to be out for a few weeks. So I would imagine that's going to be for the rest of this month and half to 2/3 of February. This does pose Celtic a wee bit of a problem, in that left back was one of the positions we were looking to strengthen, and was also a position where we were looking to potentially move a couple of players on, such as Bernabei and Kobayashi. Kobayashi primarily a centre back, but is able to play on the left as a left back. Just a wee update on Yuki Kobayashi. He was thought to be on his way back to play for Yokohama Marinos under Harry Kuehl, although that deal seems to have now gone away, and the current indications are that Yuki Kobayashi is wanted by both Real Salt Lake and FC Dallas in the American National Soccer League. That's going to be on a loan rather than a transfer, which will be an interesting move for Kobayashi, but should get him regular first team action and then bring him back to us to restart his Celtic career at the end of this year. Now, getting back to our problem at left back, the most obvious answer to the problem for me, certainly, is to move Liam Scales across to left back and have the partnership of Cameron Carter-Vickers, who Rodgers assures us is fully fit, alongside Mike Nawrocki in central defence. At the start of the season, the plan had been CCV and Starfelt as our first two, with Nawrocki brought in as backup to those, with Scales initially going to be out on transfer to Aberdeen for $500,000, but a combination of Starfelt's injury, then injury to Carter-Vickers, and shortly after Mike Nawrocki, meant that Scales has been pretty much an ever-present for us, initially with Gustav Lagerbielke as partner, then later on CCV, once CCV got back to fitness the first time, and then thereafter Scales alongside Nat Phillips a couple of times, and Mike Nawrocki a couple of times. Now, Liam Scales has played left back for Celtic 8 times, and at left back he scored 1 goal and 2 assists for Celtic. In his career, 23 games at left back, 3 goals, 5 assists, and also has played 19 games at left midfield stroke left wing back, and at that position 3 goals, 4 assists. So clearly he's able to play as a left-sided fullback, left-sided central defender, also able to play that wing-back midfield role as well. And so he does seem the ready-made replacement for Greg Taylor, whilst also having the advantage of being about 6 inches taller than Greg Taylor, and so more of an aerial threat in both boxes. And also, I think Liam Scales undoubtedly a much better defender than Greg Taylor, but clearly, as we've seen from his time both as a left back and a centre back for Celtic over the few years he's been with us, he clearly is able to pass, create, cross, and has in recent times started to be more of a threat also from corners in the opposition box. So I personally think Liam Scales is the obvious answer until Greg Taylor comes back fully fit. Another option would be Bernabei, but I think given the fact that just a couple of months ago he was put on Rodgers' hit list of people to get out of the club, I think it would be counterproductive to bring him into the first team squad. And the other player that Rodgers is said to be considering is Mitchell Frame, the very, very promising 17-year-old left back who made his full debut for Celtic against Feyenoord, playing left midfield, and had a very good 15-20 minutes at the end of the Feyenoord match. He primarily is a left back, but has played in all three roles down that left side for the B team. And so Mitchell Frame would be an interesting um, choice at left back, and I personally prefer to see him on the bench as left back cover rather than clogging the bench with Bernabei, who sooner or later is going to be out the club. Other options that Brendan Rodgers may consider would be playing someone such as Alistair Johnston or Tony Ralston on the left-hand side. Johnston has only played right back for Celtic, and in his career has played right back, right wing back, and centre back. However, Anthony Ralston has on a few occasions covered at left back, coming on for injury cover, and so Ralston would be an option to play at left back. Although personally, I think Rodgers would go for Scales, which I think is the best choice. Now, moving on to a few wee bits of news updates prior to doing the second half of the video, which is going to be the Ross County preview. No real movement on any of the loan deals or transfers out the club. No movement on moving along Bernabei or Siegrist or McCarthy. Gustav Lagerbielke remains under consideration by both Genoa and Lecce in Italy, but both feel that the finances that Celtic are asking for are out with their price bracket. Mikey Johnston is waiting for the green light from Brendan Rodgers for his loan deal to West Brom for the rest of the season. And it's thought that any loan deals for Marco Tilio going back to Australian football for this season will need to wait until after the Asian Cup is over. Australia's next match in the Asian Cup is on Sunday, and they would be expected to get through that round into the last eight at least. South Korea's last 16 matches on Tuesday, and the Japan match is on the Wednesday. And so all five of our Asian Cup players are liable to be away for another week, 10 days or so, and likely longer, as Australia, South Korea, and Japan will all be favourites to win those last 16 ties. One bit of sad news is Adam Montgomery, our young left back, left midfielder, who was on loan at Fleetwood for the first half of the season, then was loaned to Motherwell for the remainder of the 23-24 season. Sadly, he's suffered quite a significant hamstring injury and is expected to be out until April. He may well be staying at Motherwell for treatment, or may come back to Celtic Park for treatment. If he was to come back to Celtic, he would be unable to play for us anyway, because he's already played a game for Motherwell and games for Fleetwood in this season. Does look at this time that Motherwell are going to keep hold of him. with the hope that they'll get him back into first team action in April and May, when they may well be in a relegation battle or at least a bottom six split battle. Now, finally, just to finish off the video, Celtic, of course, are playing Ross County. With the way the fixtures are, it may well be that our lead is down to 2 points by that time. Now, looking at our record against Ross County, we've actually got a really good record against Ross County. Last 10 games against Ross County have been 10 wins, 29 goals for, 6 against, and in those 10 wins, there's been 5 clean sheets. And Celtic have won 17 out of the last 18 games against Ross County. And Ross County have never ever won at Celtic Park. They've been to Celtic Park 17 times, lost 14 times, and drawn 3 times. And so clearly this is a game that Celtic are fully expecting to win, much like we did 4-2 at the start of the season. And we also won away at Ross County later in the season. So I'm fully expecting Celtic to win. We obviously have had a good run of wins with 4 in a row, all won. We have a lot of confidence going into this match. I think from what Rodgers was saying in his press conference yesterday, we'll see Carter Vickers in the lineup, and we'll see Nicholas Kuhn probably on the bench and coming on. And just a wee update on the question, the poll we put up on the community section earlier this week regarding who we all thought should be playing on the right side up front for Celtic. In the end, the vote was 60% for Liel Abada, 33% for Nicholas Kuhn, and 7% from Mikey Johnston. So quite resoundingly, we've all gone for Liel Abada up front. So just in terms of team prediction for the Ross County game, Joe Hart in goals, Ali Johnston at right back, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Mike Nawrocki in central defence, with Liam Scales coming in at left back to replace the injured Greg Taylor. Central midfield, again McGregor, Bernardo and O'Reilly, and then up front Abada, Kyogo and Luis Palma, with Nicholas Kuhn on the bench. And I think we'll also see the 2 youngsters, Rocco Vata and Daniel Kelly on the bench, and probably Stephen Welsh and maybe even Mitchell Frame. Not massively certain as to whether Tomoki Iwata is fit again. It wasn't thought that his injury against Feyenoord was going to be a long-lasting injury, but there's not been any sign of him in the first team squad since that time. And so we'll see what transpires with Tomoki Iwata and whether there are any other inclusions on the bench. In terms of the result, I think Celtic are going to get a nice comfortable 3-0 win, keep the momentum going, extend the lead back to 5 or 8 points, depending how the other lot do in their game earlier on Saturday. So that just about finishes things off for today. All the news and updates are accurate as per 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. As per previous videos, things can change quite suddenly and quite dramatically, so if so, I'll do my best to update in future videos. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching. For all those new to the channel who like this sort of content or the previous videos, do click that subscribe button, get the numbers up to 350 would be great for the end of the month. And remember also, there's the like button for those who've liked the video, and also the comment section for any Celtic related content regarding this video or Celtic matters in general, and I'll do my best to reply as quick as I can. So, goodbye and hail, hail.